So the topic is the first thought, and my name is Dada Ranjitananda. Welcome, everybody. A few days ago, I was traveling, flying from the Middle East to New York. Actually, I was flying from India, but via the Middle East. And it was early morning. The flight is going west, and the sun was rising. And so that sunrise was going on forever. It was never ending. And it was very nice and very beautiful. And at that time, I was thinking and thinking about us human beings. So, in everything we do as a human being, what are we searching for? We may travel somewhere, meet someone, decide to do something in our life or something else. What are we searching for? So, what are human beings searching? What are we always searching for? So, what is the motivation behind everything we do? So, I thought that yes, actually, it is happiness. We want to feel happiness. Every human being, maybe somebody in Greenland, somebody in Africa, somebody in India, somebody in the US, we are all looking for happiness. Now, how is happiness defined in philosophy? Happiness is defined as a congenial mental feeling. So, what does that mean? It means I am somewhere, I'm feeling comfortable, I'm feeling good with the people I am in that place, so I'm happy. Basically, I get what I like or what I feel comfortable about it. Let's give a very simple example. I'm walking down the street and I pass in front of an ice cream shop. I look at it and I say, wow, let me go and have an ice cream. So, what flavor? Well, maybe just a simple one, vanilla. Okay. Cherry, maybe cherry vanilla. Let's make it simple. So now I walk there and I enter the shop. I ask for the ice cream, cherry vanilla. Yes, here it is. I feel nice. I feel happy. But now let's see a different situation. I walk over there. In that moment, they close the shop. Boom. I cannot even enter. Oh, that was not what I was expecting. That did not create a congenial mental feeling in my mind. Therefore, I do not feel happy. So, um, that happiness in the ice cream doesn't last so long, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes maximum. And I'm again looking again for something. So, we just don't want simply happiness. We want something more. We want infinite happiness, bliss, something that remains, something that doesn't finish at that moment. So that sunset was nice. It was continuing and continuing and continuing. And but the plane arrives, lands, sunset is finished. But I can still experience that pervasiveness of happiness within me. So that's what human beings are searching for. And we are not content with little. We want more and more. So the source has to be an infinite source, cannot be a limited source. So we have to connect with some infinite source, and we cannot do it externally. We cannot do it through our senses because the senses are limited. We cannot see infinite. We cannot hear infinite. All our senses are limited. Now here comes thought. So that's why the first thought is very important. The moment we wake up, how we wake up, what we think when we wake up. So I'm gonna show you now a video that I found on YouTube, and it's about somebody waking up. So take a look at that. Now, that is not exactly how we want to start our day. Imagine if we start our day in a similar circumstances, maybe not so intense, but I mean, in a struggle, in a tension. If we do it every day, what's going to happen? You know, we are the result of what we do during the 24 hours of our day, day after day, and year after year. So everything that we are doing regularly, that is making our mind, our body. So we are the result of what we practice. So that's why the first thought is also a practice. Is how I start my day, how everything begins, you know. So what kind of thought should one have at that moment? Let's make it simple. We should have a positive thought. So we start the day with a positive thought, in a positive vibration, a happy thought. It could be we wake up in a nice way. So maybe the device that you use for waking up should create a nice vibration, a nice music. Or maybe you have trained yourself to wake up without need of anything to wake you up. But you wake up the moment you become conscious, then you bring your mind to a happy, positive thought. Could be through autosuggestion. Let's say I can think, this day brings to me limitless possibilities. This is the best day of my life. That's autosuggestion. I'm just suggesting it to my mind. That's a simple way which anybody can do. Or other thing that gives me some inspiration could be someone. I can think of someone who inspires me, gives me motivation. So either I'm thinking about something or I'm thinking about someone. something positive, something happy, someone who inspires me positively. But let's add to it. We are not just, let's say, common people. We are spiritualists. We are people who search the spirituality. Spirituality is related to something infinite. You know, we are not satisfied with limited happiness. We want infinite happiness. So, for that, we need something infinite. When we talk about infinite, unlimited, that is the spiritual world. Because even the mental world has its limitations. What to say about the physical world? So physical world is limited, mental world has its limitations. We are talking here about the spiritual world. When the mental world expands beyond all the barriers, removing all the barriers, then it becomes infinite, it transforms into spiritual. So we want to have a spiritual thought at that moment. We just woke up. We are conscious. Now think something spiritual. Maybe you sit down, think something spiritual. But you know, something spiritual is uh, abstract because something spiritual means something infinite. And how can we conceive the infinite? There is no shape, no form, no sound. It's very difficult to conceive it. So, what is the alternative? In the same way, we can think about someone spiritual. So, instead of thinking about something spiritual, we'll think about someone spiritual. And when we are in the spiritual world, we usually have a teacher. And a spiritual teacher we call a guru. So we can think about a guru. We think about who we consider our guru, who we consider our spiritual teacher. And it could be of any tradition. Maybe somebody is from a different background, we'll think a different one. Or if somebody is from another background, we'll think in a different way. So we see the image of our spiritual teachers, our guru. Now let's add to that not only the image, uh, we add mantra. Mantra is sound and idea, means meaning, sound, meaning. So we are adding more to make the ideation deeper, more concentrated. And mantras are in a language called Sanskrit. The same like the word yoga is Sanskrit. Mantra is also Sanskrit. Man means the mind. Trae means liberates. So mantra liberates the mind. So it's an idea, a vibration that liberates the mind from what? From limitations. And it makes it expand. Now, why mantras are in Sanskrit? And another detail is when we are concentrating, we have to concentrate the mind in a point. So usually we concentrate in what we call chakra. So now let's talk about Sanskrit. Let's talk about chakra. Chakras are represented by yogis as lotus flowers. So here, this is a drawing, a representative drawing of the Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra, the chakra situated in the middle of the chest. Now, there are a number of petals in that chakra, and in each petal there is a sound. So, and each petal represents a mental tendency or a mental propensity. Let me give you an example. So look at this one here. This is the letter K. Here's in Roman script. Here is in Sanskrit or Bengali. Ka. Ka represents hope. It's the acoustic root of that mental propensity called hope. So I have hope. Now here is another letter, Ka, aspirated Ka, Ka. And that is the acoustic root of worry. Human beings worry. Some worry more, some worry less. Some have more hope, some have less hope. So the acoustic roots or the sounds are used to balance those tendencies. So when composing a Sanskrit mantra, the teacher or the guru is taking into consideration the sounds and also is taking into consideration the meaning of the word. So the meaning of the word, the vibration created by that sound. So that is the importance of the mantra. And each letter of the Sanskrit alphabet corresponds to the acoustic root of one of these mental tendencies. So there is the subject today is not Sanskrit and chakras, but I just wanted to show the importance of the Sanskrit, the importance of the chakras. So the importance of concentrating in a chakra to acquire control over the mind, the importance of using the Sanskrit mantra also to control, concentrate the mind. So the first thought will have the image and will have also the mantra. So here we are thinking about someone spiritual, our teacher, our guru, and we are using a mantra. So now how we are going to use the mantra? Basically, we are going to use two mantras. One is more like a poem or some verses that gives the initial ideation. So in this case, it's early in the morning, prata, and we are going to concentrate on the chakra that is located on the upper part of our head, not on the topmost, a little bit more within, more inside the head. So, Shirasi. And we are going to visualize our guru, our spiritual teacher, or that guru who inspires us in the spiritual path. How Dui Netrang means the two eyes. Dui Bhujang, two hands. So the guru is in a special position. This position has the one hand up, another hand on the lap, is a blessing. And that is called Varabhaya. So the guru is in that position, Varabhaya Krita Hastam. And when we see the guru, now we remember Smaretang. What do we remember? The name, Nama Purvakam. So what is the process here? We are reciting this poem in Sanskrit creates a certain vibration and gives a certain ideation that, uh, let's repeat it. So it is early morning, pratha, and concentrating highest on the highest chakra, shirasi, means it's not the chakra on the top of the head, but it's a little bit inside. So shirasi. Shuklebje is a white lotus where the guru is sitting. Duinetrang, the guru's eyes, Duibhujan, hands, are in this special position, special posture, mudra, Varabhaya Kritahastam. And you remember the name of the Guru, Smaritang Nama Purvakam. Now, you may say this verse, this poem, 3 times. But after that, now you are going to address the Guru by the name that is closest to you. So how you address your Guru, how you address your spiritual teacher. You have to establish an intimate connection. So that is the method. Now, what are the choices? So the choices is you think about something spiritual, you think about someone spiritual. I didn't talk so much about something spiritual because very abstract, but I talk more about someone spiritual, which is the teacher, the spiritual teacher, the guru. And there is a method how to remember the guru. All right. Now, if we can bring this spiritual thought in our mind every day as we wake up, slowly, slowly, it will become the nature of our mind that the moment we become conscious, immediately a spiritual thought comes to the mind. Immediately the feeling of spirituality. And that's a very, 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 very positive feeling, thought. And it counteracts any negativity, any difficulties we may be encountering. Now, this sets the daily rhythm. It gives us a good start, and from there, everything will flow peacefully. Of course, we will face many challenges, obstacles in our daily life, but our mind within will be peaceful. So if our mind is peaceful within, then whatever waves are coming from the outside, we can face them well. We can solve different problems. We can face challenges, and we can keep a balance in our life. So this special first thought makes our day special. And it can take us through the whole day. From that moment in the morning to sunset, night, to the next day. And if we practice it daily, just remember that whatever we do every day regularly makes who we are. What we practice makes us. Like a few days ago, I met one man, and he was quite angry. I was mentioning to him about my webinar and that the importance of the first thought, and if he wanted to attend. And he said, every day I wake up angry. I told him, you are practicing it, therefore you are becoming it. Means every day you are practicing waking up angry. So you're practicing anger, therefore you're becoming angry. Now, if we want to change, we have to change what we practice. If we can change what we practice, then we can change ourselves. And it was not going to happen from one day to another. Maybe we lived 20, 30, 40 years in a certain way. Now we want to change. So it might take a few years to really change. So during that time, we need to practice. And that is the effort, to practice it daily. So the homework for you is work on this first thought. What will be your first special thought for the day? So you can follow the technique for remembering the Guru, or you can, if you don't feel that at this moment, you can see your own technique, how you are going to uh, develop. And even if you are following the technique of remembering the Guru, write it down, make it systematic, so that your mind approaches it in a systematic way. Whatever we do in a systematic way, we will be successful. If it's not systematic, maybe sometimes successful, maybe sometimes not successful. All right. Moving now to a summary. And after that, I would like to invite for discussion and for questions. So the summary goes like, we are talking about the first thought. So it could be just simple, think about something positive. This you can tell to anybody. If it's somebody who is an atheist, who is not an atheist, a spiritualist, or whoever, family member, friend, you can say, yes, whenever you wake up in the morning, just think something positive. Or you can say, think something happy. Anyway, we were looking for happiness, so just think about something happy at that moment. If that is difficult, then think about someone who inspires you, who motivates you, who makes you positive, who inspires greatness. And as I mentioned, we are spiritualists. Therefore, we think about something spiritual. And something spiritual may be too abstract. What is this something spiritual? Maybe it is easier to think about someone is spiritual. And that someone is spiritual, our spiritual teacher, our guru. Think about the guru. And there is a special method, and it's an old practice by yogis to think about their spiritual teacher, about their guru in a certain methodical way that is concentrating in a certain chakra and visualizing in a certain way, using a certain mantra, and then continuing by you addressing your guru, your spiritual teacher, in a very intimate way. So that is the summary of this webinar. And in the end, if we are practicing bliss every day, means we are practicing a method to awaken spirituality, to awaken this infinite feeling of bliss. So we will attain it in the end. So the more we think about spirituality, the more we think about that infinite source of spirituality, of bliss, that cosmic consciousness, then we think, the more we think about it, the more that thought becomes, let's say, natural. And it's like if you're moving towards fire, you feel warmer as you get closer. And now you're moving towards the source of bliss, so you feel more bliss as you get closer. And bliss is different from just happiness. It is something more permanent, deeper. And moving in that direction will end up merging into consciousness. And that's according to philosophy, spiritual philosophy, that's when the individual, means the small consciousness, the drop of water, merges into the great, into the cosmic consciousness, into that infinite ocean. So that merging makes us satisfied, fulfilled, fulfill all our desires. And that is the idea of encouraging a first spiritual thought the moment we become conscious every day. So I would like now to take your comments and questions, or if you want me to go over a certain point a little bit more, you can type in the chat window, or you could also, those who figure out how to raise hands, you could also raise your hands.